Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is Dougville here. We've got a Protoss vs Terran coming at you today from Whirlwind. It's going to be from a recent replay pack that one of the players released a little while back. I don't think I saw it on his Twitter, so I'm not sure if it sort of went out too widely, but what we're going to do is have a look at a couple of games. You've already got one that's gone up from Death Row versus our player, and we've got another one here. He's against the Terran yet again, starting at the top right-hand side. It is Root Gaming's Drewbie, an excellent long-time player from way back in the day. He has played Terran for quite a while and was quite successful with it for a very long time, and still is to this day. Of course, his opponent, who the replay pack releaser, I suppose I should clarify, it's actually our player over here to the top left-hand side as our Blue Protoss player currently playing for Team Evil Geniuses. It is iNcontrol. And we'll see what he gets up to, because this is a really interesting map, especially in these positions. Whirlwind. It's a very big map, as everyone will know. It's an extremely large map, and there's very easy to take natural. Nice third that you can take as well. Normally, what you'll see on this map is a Protoss will try and keep their bases sort of clumped together, so it's unlikely you'd ever see, in fact, either of these players try and take this base up at the 12 o'clock position, but the point remains is that there are a lot of bases to expand to. They generally tend to be along the outer sides of the map. There's nothing through the middle, and well, basically the only thing in the middle is that Zelnaga Watchtower. So it's a interesting map, and these two players have been around for, if you want to talk about old school, these guys have both been around the StarCraft scene for an extremely long time, both of them playing for some of the very old US-based StarCraft Brood War teams, and then Drewbie was also along for the ride with Cats when those two played in 2v2s and did really well with that as well. So they will both know the ins and outs, perhaps, of each other's strengths and weaknesses, these kinds of things. And we'll see how Drewbie's going to play this here. It looks as if he is going to open us up with a command center first at the top right side. His natural is being a little bit harassed by this probe here from iNcontrol, doing a nice job there, picking away some of the health of the SCVs. SCVs do have a little bit more life, but of course it doesn't regen, unlike the shields on this probe. But probe has taken no health damage right now, which is a pretty nice usage of his micro there from iNcontrol. So he's been able to poke away at some of these units. iNcontrol going to follow up this very quick expansion from Drewbie with his own. Following a gateway, he's just going to throw down, delay the cybernetic score just a tiny bit here, and get his own Nexus up and running at the natural. So both of these guys looking for a little bit of early sort of macroeconomic cheese, if you will. Like a lot of people don't sort of think about it that way, but sometimes I kind of think if you go for like a Zerg going for 3 hatch before pool, or a Terran going CC first, these kinds of things, it's kind of in a way like a macro cheese, because you sort of, you know, taking a pretty big economic risk for a big economic payoff later on in the game, as opposed to a big, like a military-based risk, like a cannon rush or, you know, proxy gateways or something like that. But anyway, Drewbie's going to throw down a bunker down at the back of the natural here, just out of vision. The building, of course, doesn't really get too much vision. It's not a Terran building, so it doesn't get the bonus of having the SCV there helping to build it, where it gets a little bit more vision. But Drewbie looks like he will finally push away that last remaining probe, being very pesky, and iNcontrol is going to have a little bit to contend with down at his natural. Drewbie pushing out a couple of Marines. He's now got double gas inside the main, so we'll see him get enough gas very soon to get started on a factory. Not only that, but you know, the tech lab, stim, these kinds of things. But we'll see how much damage he's able to get done with this bunker. It looks like the first of the few Marines are now slowly making their way, as we just sort of demonstrated. It is a very long way to get across to this bunker, so Drewbie's going to salvage that. The first of the Stalkers now comes out as well, and this Marine is definitely dead, possibly even that second one back there as well. But this guy sacrifices his life for the good of the cause. He saves his band of brothers, if you will. They're going to head back home and retreat to the safety of, well, there's no bunker here for Drewbie, but it looks like it will be pretty safe regardless. There are going to be quite a few Marines at the top of the ramp here. 5 to start with a couple more now about to pop out as well. We'll see that he should be quite safe against the Stalker. And in fact, Drewbie taking advantage of the very predictable movement of that Stalker. A lot of people they'll sort of run up the ramp here, and they won't sort of consider that the Marines will be right here, or possibly even right here. And most Terran players, what they like to do is just sort of quickly run the Marines down, try and you know, sort of get a surround on the Stalker if you can, while you shoot it down down. And if you can take down that first Stalker, that's pretty good, because that means you can use a little bit, get a little bit more map control for yourself. But things look like they are going to go into a very, very interesting sort of situation here. A couple of pylons just warping in from iNcontrol. He was slightly supply blocked here, but there is a 4-gate on the way. So it's going to be a two base 4-gate. It's not exactly as all in as it would be on one base, but it does still have a lot of power behind it. We'll see how much damage iNcontrol is able to get done. Drewbie at the moment has no idea that this is on the way. I would be expecting a scan out of him very, very soon here. He's almost got enough energy, and we'll probably see him just quickly scan. I would say probably the best position, yeah, probably just like around this sort of area here. In fact, we'll use, there it is, so just sort of that area there if he can, just to try and catch what's going on at the natural, what's going on inside the main as well. But it looks like he's going to have a little bit of trouble down here at the natural. It looks like he's only got the one bunker for starters. A lot of SCVs have been picked up as well. He's up to 37 in total, and we do have quite a few Marines as well. But the big question is it going to be enough? We've now got a huge total of Stalkers. We've got Zealots as well. Drewbie spots what's going on and says, oh dears, I'm in a bit of trouble right now. And iNcontrol, the trap has been unleashed here. We'll see how much damage you can get done. Sometimes there is a particular build where you utilize a lot of Stalkers off a 3-gate pressure, and what you can do is you can start sniping down SCVs, which we can see iNcontrol doing there, just targeting as many of the SCVs as he can, throws down a time warp at the back with the mothership core, and I think that this bunker is definitely going to go down, which means that the natural will be evacuated here, because there is no way for Drewbie to save this orbital if he sticks around for too long. Mules go down, SCVs go down, worker count now looking, has been reduced by quite a lot, 29 to 48 there, quite a lot of kills by iNcontrol, so he's busted through that quite nicely. Now, sometimes some people will follow this up with a double forge and then a Templar Archives, like a quick tech into the Templar Archives, because you haven't spent as much money on the sentries here, but as much gas on the sentries here, but it looks like he's thrown in a couple of extras here. He's going to see what damage he can get done at the top of the ramp here. A couple of good force fields might be able to help out, and he throws down one, throws down two, does he? Where is the second? Perhaps just off to the side here, but no. A little bit of macro back at home for iNcontrol there, perhaps costing him a couple of units, but a couple of Widow Mines will be prepared at the top of the ramp. They should be able to force the majority of these units back, and in fact, wow, a medevac gets taken out, but the units will be pushed back for now. 2 sentries going down, and that should be the end of the push just for the moment here from iNcontrol, but he has done a huge amount of damage. 15 workers killed, and then 46 units killed in total, so quite a lot of damage there by iNcontrol. He's probably just going to sit back for the moment. We saw the double forge go down, but he is going to go straight into the Colossus tech. He's going to look for what looks to be just a possible Colossus timing here, which we would assume is probably going to finish Drewbie off. I'm not actually sure if Drewbie's going to have enough economy to get out enough Vikings, to get out enough Marines and Marauders here. He's trying to get another command center up and running, but I mean, with his natural not running at all, we're looking at a very, very poor Drewbie. He's having his own financial crisis right now. 33 harvesters for him, around about 900 minerals coming in, with a couple of mules dropped down at the main. But I mean, when you're dropping the mules down here at the main, it means that your main is going to mine out very, very quickly. So Drewbie's going to have that in mind. He's going to want to try and look to take a 3rd base if he can, but I don't think that's going to be too successful. Looks like iNcontrol will just sit back. He's going to keep up his economy of his own, with a 3rd base now on the way. His double upgrade still pumping along. We've got 1-1 just about to finish up, and that is going to give him a nice advantage if he does look to push straight away. But I think he's going to wait just a moment. We're going to wait until Extended Thermal-Lance is done. We may see a couple more extra gates as well, and once his 3rd base has a decent saturation of probes, that's probably when we'll see iNcontrol move out here. But for the moment, he's going to sit back, he's going to play safe, going to make sure that he can't be dropped on. Drops are a very dangerous part of this sort of situation as a Terran. It looks like Drewbie going for that exact thing, and unfortunately a little bit slow on the trigger finger of the Ignite thrusters there. Is forced back by the Nexus cannon, planetary, whatever thing you want to call it, and a couple of cannons there. So Drewbie not able to get some counter pressure from of his own just there. So iNcontrol going to add on the 2-2, and once that kicks in, I would say that we will see that big push come out of iNcontrol right now. So his Extended Thermal-Lance looking to be finished up very soon. We're going to have around about 2 to 3 Colossus by the time this push comes along. It depends how much chrono he's going to invest in these upgrades, but what's going to happen is we'll probably see that Drewbie is going to have a pretty mediocre force. He can't build any bunkers because the Colossi will outrange them. He can't build, you know, he's going to have trouble getting out enough mines because, you know, if you're going to invest in mines, then that means you're going to need like a reactor on your factory or something like that. In fact, there is a factory, he doesn't even produce anything out of that at the moment, so he's just keeping that safe. We've got an armory coming up down at the back of the main here, so double upgrades will be coming along from Drewbie, but unfortunately he's going to be very, very far behind his Protoss opponent. So iNcontrol cementing his position right now. We've got this third base up and running, up to 71 probes at this point, and as long as there's no sort of micro mistakes, no sort of positional errors or anything like that, you'd say that iNcontrol is in a very, very strong position right now. He has lost his observer at the front of the natural base of Drewbie, but that's not going to worry him too much. He can maybe crank out another one or two. He's got charge just about to finish up. There's that extra observer. A few more gates, and things are going to look very, very rosy right now for our Evil Geniuses Protoss player. We'll see what Drewbie's going to do here. He's got 1-1. He's got stim, combat shields, concussive shells are done as well. And it looks like he's going to push in at what could be the precisely wrong time. Stimming up. The unit's now about to get their 2-2 for iNcontrol, so perhaps this Nexus might go down, and in fact he does. He targets that down quick, smart, and zips out of there. He says, thank you, I am now out of here. And iNcontrol, unfortunately, not able to keep up with those forces to stim. A very useful tool to have for those units right there. So they get out of there. A nice snipe on that third base. So he's able to buy himself a little bit of time. Drewbie trying to do what he can to just sort of make iNcontrol sit back, but when you've sniped out your opponent's economy, what's that going to force them to do? Counterattack, which is what it looks like iNcontrol is about to do here. No control over that Xel'Naga watchtower, unfortunately for the Terrans. Gets a beautiful cut of force fields through the center there, and it takes down quite a lot of the units, and Drewbie, his supply slowly dwindling now down to 109. A couple of Templar at the back. They do not have Storm. No, I don't. It's just about to finish up, but Drewbie is going to be in a lot of trouble right now. Pylon in his face, and that is going to be a big sign that Drewbie is in quite a lot of trouble right now. Observer's just going to spawn out the front section here to see when the counterattack comes in from Drewbie, but I think that there's just not enough right now. Storm is now finished up. These guys have got enough energy for a couple of storms right now. There's one, and we'll probably see another 2 or 3. There are no ghosts out on the field, and Drewbie is about to meet his maker, I think, because there is no way he's going to hold all of this back. The couple of Colossi, only 2, but, you know, when you're dealing with no Vikings and you're dealing with a mainly Bioforce, it's no longer needed to buy any more Colossi. Zealous streaming in, Guardian Shields going up, Storms probably go down on those SCVs, and that is an absolute terror of a sight there for any Terran player. And while, of course, Drewbie does his best to fend it off, unfortunately, it is all a little bit too little too late there. He falls down to iNcontrol in this match. Really nicely executed 4-gate right at the start from iNcontrol. He was able to get a lot of SCV kills, then sniped off quite a lot of the units as well, with that time warp coming in very handy from the Mothership Core. And we see iNcontrol take the lead from there. Hope you all enjoyed that match. A little bit of an interesting quick game between these two players, but it was a lot of fun, and I'll catch you guys next time. Blast down those Hydras, bodies being blown apart everywhere there, and Awake is just left with a few swarm hosts in the ground. We've got 6 over here, not a massive total. And now we can see with the scan going down, I don't think that Awake